Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Yigal Behar. Today, we're going to talk about how to avoid cyber attacks and data breaches. And by the way, you can open your microphone and ask a question or use the chat box to ask any question. So let's begin. Today, we're going to cover three subjects, 2018 threat landscape and cybersecurity trends. We want to see what is upcoming, so we'll be able to better protect ourselves. We'll be proactive. As always, this is, I think, a good objective. The second, why traditional solutions won't work anymore and what you can do about it. And this is very important. Probably if you're using an old firewall, like it's year-old, or you have an antivirus solution, year-old also. This is also outdated already in the cybersecurity area, as threats are changing and moving all the time, and as I'll show you in research information and some real things that happen to other companies. And I'm sure you have heard about many of those in the past. Workshop time. In the workshop, I would like for you to exercise and get the feeling and understanding how security should be working and not exactly what people thinking that security is. So there's a full sense of security that I will try to help you and educate in this area. Of course, we'll be giving a free bonus. You're going to need to wait to the end of this session. It's a value of $500. This is the Information Technology Access Control and Use Policy, and tells your employees what they can do and specifically what they cannot do with your computer system. Okay, so a little bit about me. My cybersecurity career started 17 years ago in Israel. I worked in a company called Avnet Deloitte. Before then, I had my business, a computer consulting company for 10 years. I sold it, and I joined in 2004 to Avnet Deloitte, where we served the Prime Minister office, for instance, Social Security Administration, banks, and other private companies. Later on in 2004, I arrived to America and I opened my company called 2Secure, and with the mission to bring enterprise level security measures to the small business. In the end of the day, small or big, they have the need to protect the data, regardless the size, but you are still facing the same issues. So let's begin with the first item. The first item is 2018 threats and landscape. Let's take a look at this. So in the past 5 years, as you can see, there is a gradual upward with more and more malware upcoming and hitting your computers without even you knowing, or maybe you had an incident, maybe you didn't have an incident, good luck. But a lot of people suffered from it and still suffering from it. The interesting statistic about it says that, as you can see here, 274,000 new malware per day. So now with traditional solutions, it's going to be an issue, big issue. We'll see it next with more research and information that I'll bring to you. This is a research for 2018 Global Megatrends in Cybersecurity that was done by Panama Institution. And what are the predictions? So they see basically 4 trends in the threat landscape. One of them is the extortion, using ransomware to extract money from you by encrypting your data. So your data on the computer, on the hard drive, can be encrypted. You need to pay in order to decrypt the data. If you have a server that all the information is stored on the server, all the data will be encrypted. If you are using, let's say, Dropbox, right? Everybody is going to the cloud. They're trying to use a cloud application. Don't think that you're going to be able to hide in the cloud. They will find you in the cloud, the encrypted data. Actually, I think yesterday I got a new threat coming using Office 365, using OneDrive. Somebody was trying to send an email, and that email was actually caught by our system. So again, this is something that been used all the time. The second threat is using exploits to steal data. So in this case, I don't want to encrypt your data. I just want to steal your information. So I'm going to send maybe a file through email, and we'll be able to know if it's really a malware or a hacker trying to hack your computer. And then your antivirus solution will be able to detect it. Even your firewall won't be able to detect it. And now you just run it, and you think something is, the screen just splashed a little bit, and your information was gone because it was collected, encrypted, and sent outside without your firewall and AV solution. Those are traditional solutions out there, won't be able to detect it. The third item is nation-state attacks. This is also growing from, for instance, North Korea, China, and they're using the same methods as regular hackers, I would say, but they are more sophisticated because they have now a state sponsorship, so they are basically unlimited resources, so they can steal in designs, money, bitcoins, whatever they want, they're going to be able to steal. So we need to know. The last one is IoT. I don't know how are you familiar with IoT. IoT is Internet of Things. So anything that is being connected to the Internet, either wired connection or wireless connection, is now exposed to those attacks. What kind of examples I can show you is a camera that you connect to the network. So let's say you have a security camera in your office or your home. This is accessible to hackers from the internet or through the network, and they can do many things, can do manipulation. Now with, for instance, printers, right? You think that the printer you connected to the network and now it's been printing your documents. It's not the printer, it's a computer, a flown computer that can be exploited to do other attacks. So this is an example when it comes to users' education. In this case, with the ransomware, so this is an email that I got myself. This came from FedEx telling me about a package. Well, FedEx is not going to send you any attachment telling you about the status of the package. They won't say dear and will write your email address. Somebody will write your personal email, you use your personal name. Once you open the attachment, which is a compressed file, it will be a JavaScript that you run it, and then it's gonna pull more threats, more executable, malicious program that will run on the computer without your solutions being detected. So, and that can steal your information or encrypt or do all the above. And this is an example what happened after a NotPetya ransomware. As you can see in the supermarket, the computers are down. Once it was running on the computer, you get a message. And this specific ransomware encrypts the data. I'm sorry, not encrypts, it wipes out completely the data. So if you pay the ransomware, you won't be able to restore the data because there's no data to be restored to begin with. They're going to take the money, but you won't be able to recover the data. And I'm sure nobody wants to see this happening in his business. The next danger is the miner. Miner is basically a new threat now. Instead of encrypting data or deleting your files, the best way to use your computers is a resource to generate bitcoins, for instance. I don't know if you heard about the bitcoins, a cryptocurrency. So now they can send an attachment, and that attachment will bring the malware inside, and they will start to mine bitcoins. The same thing is called cryptojacking. Cryptojacking is not using anything. This is what is called fileless attack. Nothing is being downloaded, nothing is being done. You can visit on this specific thing, the specific example, you are browsing a website, it can be even a news website. And suddenly your computer will be very slow. As you can see here, it's 100% CPU utilization. The computer will become very, very slow. And then in the background, they will use your computer to mine bitcoins and use you in their pool to mine those bitcoins. And your traditional solutions, again, won't be able to detect it. We talked about it, IoT dangers, and this is just to give you a bit more wider horizon. So what is IoT? IoT is, again, it's just taking software and hardware, backing them together, connecting them to the network, and give you the ability to use those additional services. And Nest, for instance, can be an IoT. Smart TV, toaster, refrigerator, everything will be considered as IoT, and it's a huge danger for your company. So we're back to some research information about the IoT. As you can see, 82% says it's likely that the organization will experience a loss of data caused by IoT, unsecured IoT devices. And again, smaller 80% says it's likelihood of a security incident causing to IoT device. Okay, so now we're going to talk about why traditional solutions won't work anymore and what you can do about it. So let's look again of a more research information. Again, this is from Panama Institution from 2017. 77% says that they believe that were compromised by a new or unknown threat like fireless as they expand and attacks that the solutions cannot detect it anymore. Next slide. 94% of all malware is unique to a single endpoint. Traditional signatures are useless. Now I need to explain how those solutions work. So let's say there is a malware or malicious software, and the company can be any company now, it doesn't matter the name. They develop, they find this malware, this threat, they analyze it, and then they say, okay, this is the antidote. So they give you an antidote and they send it to your workstation. Now it goes different ways. It goes through stages. And then you get that signature to your computer. So now your computer, now when it sees that specific signature, it will know, oh, this is the threat that we're talking about. Okay, I know it's a threat. Okay, now I'm going to block it. Now, if I'm going to say it, change one bit, it's going to change the signature completely. So now, that signature is already old. Now I need to develop another antidote for the same attack, for the same threat, because they changed something, one bit in that threat. And now, again, my endpoint is useless because it doesn't know about the change because I didn't get the signature. 90% of successful data breaches caused by user error. There can be social media. You get a connection request from somebody you don't know. Recently, I got a connection request through LinkedIn, and I just published it. And this is amazing how this has been used. So once you click on that link, and this is an error because you don't know what you did. How does the organization allocate most of its current security investments? So you can see 55% say they're going to investing their resources on traditional solutions that basically use their signature. How the solutions are handling, can handle their ransomware, for instance. 60% said they won't be able to detect it. And now it's the time for a workshop. I emailed you the worksheet. Please open it, print it, and we'll do some exercise here. So what is the objective here? Is to help you to minimize the chances of getting hacked by learning this strategy that we're going to discover it in a few slides. So if you open the worksheet, you see there's 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. So the first question, what are you trying to protect? What kind of information do you process in your computer network? It can be credit card, can be client list, can be your designs, can be anything that it's very important for your business to run. So make sure to write the question, and later on you can answer those questions for yourself. The second question is, what are the relevant threats? And we discussed now a few trends in cybersecurity. Maybe you have something that is more specific to you, to your organization. Maybe you experience some of incidents that are not listed. You should know what are they and list them. So you know what are the relevant threats that you believe relevant to your organization. The third question is, how comfortable are you with your ability to detect known and unknown cyber threats? And if you're using all the solutions, it's probably you're going to answer that you're not comfortable because you don't have any visibility to what's going on your network, on your computers. The second part of the exercise is to list all ways or measures to protect your home or office. So take a minute, write all of those, and we will compare it with my list. So I'll give you a few seconds. If you want to ask a question, open your microphone or use the chat box and type in your question. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is my list. I have doors, locks, windows, fans, alarm, motion detection, crime watch, guard, dog gun, police, insurance. Excellent. Hope you have all of those in your list. Now, which column is critical to security? So tell me which one. If you can open your microphone and tell me, or just type it in the chat box. Ted, are you there? Ted? Okay, so most people would say that column 1 is critical to security, and this is false, because if you look at your store and somebody entered to your store, the doors are open. For instance, or you go to a bank, the door is open. So now how you'll be able to detect a cyber attack because of that? So here, the first one is defense. Right? The second one is the ability to discover. You want to be able to discover a threat, and of course, you want to fix it, remediation. So this is a case study of Equifax data breach. In this case, they have a firewall, they have everything in place. The problem with them that with that case study, that about mid-February, they discovered a vulnerability on a web server. They published in mid-March a solution, a fix, but then apparently the hackers were able to penetrate Equifax servers in mid-May. Now, it took them, as you can see on the graph, it took them 2.5 months to detect that data breach. And they will be able to steal a lot of pieces of information. As you can see, passport information, social security numbers, everything was stolen from them and affected 145 million people were affected by this data breach. So again, now coming back to the question, which one is critical, which column is critical to security, and again, it's the discover, the ability to discover and remediate the attack. If you take it and to the parallel, right, from the physical world to the digital world, you can see on the defense we have firewalls, we have spam filters, antivirus, anti-spyware, and this is another problem with the discover, that using log files, which is very hard to go and find an intrusion in log files. Partners, customers can find, oftentimes can find a data breach. Internal users will find those. Antivirus in case that they have the signature. The same as anti-spyware. Who's going to limit it? IT and tech people. and antivirus if they know again what is the antidote, so they can detect it and remove the threat. So of course, you're going to ask yourself, what can we do to protect ourselves? Bottom line, you need to be serious about your company and secure information. So we know that everyone is unique. So what is going to be? Register for free consultation. We'll have a preliminary phone call to gather some basic information about your organization. And then we'll run from our side, some research about your business to discover leaked information, for instance. We'll have a second phone call presenting what we found, and then we'll come with a plan for your company. So of course, nothing is, you're not obligated to buy and do anything. It's by application, you sign up, and we can get started. So sign up in order to get the free stuff, and we'll see you next. Any questions? You can open your microphone and ask a question or text a question. I'll keep the window open for a few minutes. Okay, so if there's no question here, thank you for joining today for this web session. Hope to see you soon. Thank you and have a great day.